Red Cross is now helping 4 adults and 3 children with shelter, food, and clothing.
The Red Cross is helping 6 families after that weather system tore through Lansdale.
Red Cross is helping 6 families in the wake of an apartment fire this afternoon.
A dozen residents are waking up at a Red Cross shelter this morning.
A family of 4 lost everything. They're being helped by the Red Cross tonight.
Red Cross volunteers have been busy getting hundreds of cots and blankets ready, just in case.
One in our area has been advised to prepare a hurricane kit, prepare their homes, particularly in case of power outages.
The most critical thing at this point is to get your medications and your critical papers and make a plan to evacuate.
Well, we have 13 shelters open altogether around the Philadelphia area. There's a capacity of about 2,500 that we have cots right now for. We could easily double or even triple that if necessary, but we're nowhere near those numbers right now.
We're sheltering, we're feeding, we're providing comfort, and basically a safe place to be.
American Red Cross trainer Rachel Rose says there are many situations a babysitter may encounter.
Any type of wounds and muscle, bone, and joint injuries, those sorts of things. A kid falls down, or a child just becomes ill and gets a fever or something. You know, that's something that a babysitter should know how to handle.
Rose says their course covers these crises.
Kicked off National Preparedness Month in Northeast Philadelphia today. Mayor Nutter joined Fire Commissioner Lloyd Ayers and members of the American Red Cross to send the message that it's never too early to prepare.
The Red Cross and Philadelphia Fire Department are banding together in the aftermath of a deadly Tacony fire. This was the scene as Red Cross volunteers went door to door in the neighborhood with fire safety kits while firefighters handed out smoke detectors.
There are millions of medical emergencies every day, some minor, some serious. And would you know what to do? Well, the American Red Cross has a new way to help.
We want good, accessible information available to people quickly, and that's why we're doing this.
Renee Cardwell-Hughes, CEO of the Southeastern Pennsylvania American Red Cross, says the app gives step-by-step instructions on how to handle the most common first aid situations like allergies, asthma attacks, broken bones, and choking. It includes videos and interactive quizzes.
Well, the Red Cross and the United Way teamed up for a first-of-its-kind training event in Center City today. Members of the Department of Homeland Security were also involved in what was called the First Readiness and Resiliency Academy. The idea was to better prepare participants in the event of a disaster, whether it be a natural catastrophe or a terror attack.
Hundreds of people joined the 10th annual Red Cross Walk and Run to Save Lives. The action cam was there in Fairmount Park for the event this morning. Monies raised goes to the Red Cross Emergency Services all across the 5-county Philadelphia area.
The American Red Cross today awarded Wawa CEO Howard Stokel as the 2012 Citizen of the Year in Philadelphia. The 30th annual awards breakfast was held at the Lowe's Hotel. Now, the Red Cross credits Stokel and Wawa with providing water and food for disaster survivors.
The American Red Cross Southeastern Pennsylvania chapter hosted 10 Haitian youth ambassadors in Center City today. The group is part of a summer-long tour sponsored by the International YMCA.
I want you to remember that the American people and the American Red Cross in Philadelphia are on our earth forever and ever.
Southeastern Pennsylvania chapter of the American Red Cross honored its volunteers tonight. More than 400 volunteers from the 5-county region were recognized for their efforts. The group responds to disasters locally and across the country. The chapter also honored the outgoing chairman of the board, Michael Kozlak.
Storage bins, trash bags, and cars were filled to the brim with toys in Center City today, all collected through a first-of-its-kind partnership. The local chapter of the American Red Cross teamed up with the U.S. Marines and the Philadelphia Fire Department for this year's Toys for Tots drive. Today, volunteers sorted through thousands of items with boxes for girls and boxes for boys of all ages. The toys will now be given to organizations that help needy kids in our area.
The Please Touch Museum goes red tonight, and it's all to benefit a great cause. The American Red Cross Southeastern Pennsylvania is hosting its annual Red Ball in Memorial Hall in Fairmount Park. The event features the Red Ball restaurant competition with some of Philly's top chefs, and all proceeds from the ball benefit the Red Cross House, the Center for Disaster Recovery.
The American Red Cross celebrated a big milestone in Philadelphia today. The Red Cross House, a place designed to help folks who've been through a disaster, has now been operating for 3,000 days. It's located at 40th and Powelton in West Philadelphia. That location was chosen because the area was seeing the highest number of fires in the city at the time. Nadira Braggs and her family lost their home in a fire. She was hurt when she had to jump out a window to save herself and her children. She says the folks with the Red Cross House have been there every step of the way.
The American Red Cross honored Mercy Fitzgerald Hospital and Delaware County DA Jack Wellen. The hospital and Wellen received humanitarian awards for the way they serve their communities.
Whenever there's trouble, just like our emergency responders, the Red Cross volunteers are those who are running in when everyone else is running out.
The mission of the Red Cross is very simple. We help. We help to alleviate human suffering in times of disaster. That is our mission. It is also our promise. We don't care about race, color, religion. We don't care about economic status. If there is a disaster, we promise to be there and to help. And when you talk about the boots on the ground, we're able to do that because of Americans who volunteer to serve.
More than 50 residents of a Delaware County apartment complex are without a place to live after a fire tore through overnight.
Well, Brian, the flames were intense, the damage extensive, and while some people were able to get back into their apartments today to gather belongings, we're told no one is able to return home to stay for the night. You can see the part of the building with the brunt of the damage. The Red Cross assisted 21 families with money for food, clothing, shoes, and winter coats. They're also providing lodging for 4 families who didn't have anywhere else to go.
Another fire that Stu talked about in her traffic. This was a massive fire that tore through an abandoned warehouse. This was in Philadelphia's Kensington neighborhood.
Joining me right now, we've got Judge Renee Hughes, thank you, CEO for the Red Cross. How many people do we have? Here's the shelter visitation. How many people do we have here, and what are you caring for them with?
At this time, we have 28 people in the shelter. 8 of those are children. And our job is really to provide comfort. So we've brought in snacks, hot tea, hot coffee, snacks for the children and toys. We also have 1 dog in the shelter. But our real goal is to make sure the families are safe, out of harm's way, and that their immediate needs are met until we can determine how long this scene will last and when and if they can return to their home.
Red Cross is helping some Montgomery County residents whose homes were damaged by powerful storms last night. Officials at the Red Cross say they're assisting up to 8 families at a damaged apartment building in Lansdale.
Explosions of bright orange flames signal another house has been claimed by the Colorado wildfires.
And the Southeastern Pennsylvania Red Cross has sent a mental health expert to Colorado to help crews deal with the daunting task at hand.
One of our own from our chapter is in Colorado. I just spoke to her just a few minutes ago. She just arrived in the scene. She's going to be going to the shelter and providing her services.
A house fire takes the life of a mentally challenged Bucks County man, injuring his grandfather and leaving his neighbors devastated.
Hearing that there were no working smoke detectors in the house, the Red Cross is here now handing out fire emergency kits.
Chopper 6 HD over the scene late this afternoon as the inferno broke out in one row home in the 600 block of Coates and then quickly spread to 8 others. The Red Cross gathered the families at the Coatesville Community Center as they worked to find them temporary housing for up to 3 days.
We're giving them food, water, getting paperwork filled out, and giving them a place to stay for the next few nights until our caseworkers can work with them and provide them with help them find a long-term place to stay.
The Red Cross will be out handing out smoke detectors at a neighborhood where a woman and her daughter were killed by fire.
It is so unnecessary for anyone to lose their life to a fire. There's very simple steps that we can take. Having a smoke alarm with working batteries in their home.
Tonight at 11, a fire at a Philadelphia apartment complex displaces more than a dozen people. Many of the people forced out of their homes are now staying in University City. And NBC 10's Sydney Long is live there for us tonight. Sydney?
Ted, good evening. In fact, we have been in touch with the Red Cross throughout the evening tonight, and they tell us that 7 families from both Paul and Kinsey Streets who got out with only the clothes they are wearing are now being cared for here.